Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome. It's Urban Libertarian. And just by watching this, I promise you, you are going to be more informed than your friends who just engage in propaganda media, because that's all it is at this point. It really is. Obviously, there's still some news out there, but it's gotten so bad that we are at a crossroads right now, and that's what I really wanted to talk about right now with this Trump-Putin meeting here, which obviously the propagandists are freaking out, and we can't have, the whole point of this is we can't have Russia and the US be friends. Well, the deep state, the ones that are in control. I mean, think about it. How that would benefit us what if Russia and America could work together and we weren't enemies? You could tell that they're trying to push us apart, and it's pretty ridiculous. So I've got some videos, I've got some articles I want to share, and I want to go over, and I've got this video that was this is what is on Washington Post, and this is what people are going to talk about. And I want to talk about how man, they're setting up a trap for the Mueller probe. There's a lot of stuff, so let me get into it here. I promise you this is going to be good. So we are at a huge crossroads now, and essentially the American people are going to have to decide: can you break your cognitive dissonance? Can you really understand and get it through your head that you can be lied to? Okay, because they're going to say, do you believe Putin or do you believe the U.S. intelligence agencies? And what that is just a weird kind of twist of the whole Bush era. You're either with us or you're with I don't want to say it because YouTube. Okay, if you remember what he said, if you don't, look it up. Some of you weren't born yet. Okay. But that's the psychological manipulation, what's going on, right? So if you don't believe what the crap that they're telling you, then you're a Russian sympathizer. And it's pretty easy. It's a really easy emotional argument. It's fooled a lot of people. It's fooled family members and friends of mine. It's fooled a lot of Americans and the world. It's just disgusting. So I'm going to get into this, and I'm going to explain how this is a Mueller trap, because it's interesting, because Russia is offering to help. And the last time that I forgot who it was, the DOJ or whoever, went investigations, they found these those Facebook ads. Remember when the Russians were buying Facebook ads? Well, they set a court trial for them and a court date, and they indicated they were going to show up. Okay, and then when they did that, I believe the Mueller team dropped the case, postponed the case, and then we've never seen that. We haven't heard anything from that. So now what they're doing is this last ditch effort, and of course, think about the timing too, right? They just put that out right before, right before Trump was about to meet Putin. Fucking Rod Rosenstein comes out, right? And says, oh, look what we found, right? Because the first time it didn't work, so now they're going to go this way, say it's Russian spies, thinking that Russia's not going to, ever extradite these guys. But instead, I don't know if they're going to extradite them, but Putin says, hey, let's look into it. And if you have a thinking mind and you don't have Trump derangement syndrome, or if you do, and you can just take a deep breath and watch this and really think critically, you'll figure it out. So let's go to this question here, and I just want to go through it.
Being in the 2016 election, given the evidence that U.S. intelligence agencies have provided, and will you consider extraditing the 12 Russian officials that were indicted last week by a U.S. grand jury?
Well, I'm going to let...
Okay, so he's talking about, do you believe the intelligence agencies, and are you going to extradite those alleged Russians, which is complete bullshit. And that's why Trump, what's going on is that you've got Russia that's calling their bluff. And let's see what's going on.
Let the president answer the second part of that question. But as you know, the whole concept of that came up perhaps a little bit before, but it came out as a reason why the Democrats lost an election, which frankly, they should have been able to win, because the Electoral College is much more advantageous for Democrats, as you know.
That is true. That is true.
Than it is to Republicans. I didn't know the president. There was nobody to collude with. There was no
Exactly.
collusion with the campaign. We ran a brilliant campaign, and that's why I'm president.
As to who is to be.
And that's why this is why we have this whole Russian collusion fake bullshit, because she was supposed to win, and this was the insurance policy that they talked about in Andy's office. It's not that fucking hard to figure out. You just have to open your mind a bit and not be so fucking delusional, because there's a huge story going on that, you know, you're just not being told about if you just play with your Facebook and get your news from that and watch the nightly news. You're fucked if that's what you do. You're fucked. You got to watch my videos and other people's videos and think for yourself, and don't take my word for it, and investigate and look into the shit that I talk about.
Be believed and who's not to be believed. You can trust no one if you take this. Where did you get this idea that President Trump trusts me or I trust him? He defends the interest of the United States of America, and I do defend the interest of the Russian Federation.
And that's why they don't like this, because they think about it. Trump is for America. I get at whatever you think. Just trust me on this. For the most part, hugely for America. The proof's in the pudding. If you want to get into it, you disagree with me, talk to me in the comments. Make a video about it. Be awesome, please. Putin loves his country, obviously, too. Is he more corrupt? I'm not saying I love Russia. I love America. America is like the best, right? It's the best. It's like Trump, right? But I mean, it's Trump and Putin are like the farthest from friends. And the whole wink that you're hearing about, oh, President Trump, they're probably like, he winked at Putin, making his friends. Now, that's like when boxers get into the ring, right? And they're sizing each other up. One guy winks at the other one, right? It wasn't a friendly wink. It's you've got two guys that want the best for their country. And that's why there's so much hate and so much propaganda against it, because it's against globalism, okay? And they, whoever they are afraid of Russia and the U.S. joining together and being a huge superpower. That's not good for the global order of things.
Could you name a single fact that would definitively prove the collusion? This is utter nonsense.
Just now,
True.
President Putin denied having anything to do with the election interference in 2016. Every U.S. intelligence agency has concluded that Russia did. Who do you believe? Would you now, with the whole world watching...
See, it is. Who do you believe? With the whole world watching. He's setting this up. It's not even a proper question. So that's what they do. It's basically, they're gaslighting the whole fucking world. Basically, everybody says it's true, and there's no fucking proof. Watch, and they talk about, where's the server? The DNC did not comply with the FBI, with the server. Watch. How do they even know how? Look, let me ask you this. How can the U.S. intelligence agencies know it was Russians if they never got the fucking server?
Tell President Putin...
Give me a break.
Would you denounce what happened in 2016, and would you warn him to never do it again?
So let me just say that we have two thoughts. You have groups.
No evidence, right? No evidence. I'm sorry, no evidence. And that's what they say. So basically they're calling for a trial, which is great.
That are wondering why the FBI never took the server. Haven't they taken the server? Why was the FBI told to leave the office of the Democratic National Committee? I've been wondering.
That's true. They somehow the DNC was able to kick out the FBI. Look it up. Okay? And these are the hard questions. You will not, I guarantee you will not see this part of the clip in any of the mainstream media, except maybe Fox, which they aren't great, but at least they're fair. No one's going to show this. And if they do, they'll make it in some weird light that, and then he went off on Hillary for some reason. Well, yeah, because the whole reason fucking we were talking about this whole shit is because she let her fucking server and emails and all this shit dangle out in front of everybody to look at. What the fuck? Right? Like, let's not forget that. And what was in those emails? What was in those emails? Okay? And it's so true. We never got the server. The FBI was kicked out. Why are we not looking into that? And that is fucking valid as fuck.
Wondering that. I've been asking that for months and months, and I've been tweeting it out and calling it out on social media.
Thank you.
Where is the server? I want to know where.
Best president ever. I don't care what the fuck you say. You've never had a president talk like this. Okay? And keep it up and risk everything. Risk everything. Okay? For the truth. Obama didn't do it. Bush didn't do it, and I'll get to that too, and why you shouldn't believe the intelligence agencies. You know, get the propaganda out of your head and clear your fucking mind. Okay? Listen.
Where is the server, and what is the server saying? They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be. I have confidence in both parties. What happened to the servers of the Pakistani gentleman that worked on the DNC?
Talking about Awan, look it up, last name Awan. The guy's already, he's a cooperating witness in a federal case. This dude was hacking all over the place. And of course, you don't hear it because Trump's a Cheeto racist, right? That's they dangle the low-hanging fruit to people, but, you have to really be smarter than that and not just, I know a lot of people they like the tabloid, they like the raciness, the sleaziness. Unfortunately, that is just so appealing to most people, and that's why people think the way they do. And it really does come down to you thinking critically, okay? Because it makes no sense. If you can really think, like, if you have anybody who's a police, somebody who's a friend who's a cop or a detective or anybody who investigates, ask them what they think about this situation. And if they know anything about it, and if they don't, tell them to investigate it and give you a report if they're your trusted friend and see what they say, because they'll come to the same conclusion if they have any, good sense. So let's keep going.
See, where are those servers? They're missing. Where are they?
True.
What happened to Hillary Clinton's emails?
Yep.
I think in Russia they wouldn't be gone so easily. I think it's a disgrace that we can't get Hillary Clinton's 33,000 emails.
Well, the
I have
NSA
great
has
confidence
them.
in my
Obviously the NSA must have them.
intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. And what he did is an incredible offer. He offered to have the people working on the...
They're going to criticize Trump for this because they're willing to work with the Mueller investigation. How does that even make any sense, right? How can you criticize him for saying, hey, let's work with the Mueller investigation? And you're going to criticize him because it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't have to make sense. They have no other position. They're fucked, and they're going to deny it, right? They're going to, oh, yeah, well, never mind. We already know, because it's bullshit. It's like when you can tell when someone's Trump, show us your cards. Show us your fucking full deck of aces. Oh, I don't want to show it. Well, then you don't fucking have it.
Case, come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people.
I believe that Russia is a democratic state, and I hope you're not denying this right to your own country. You're not denying that United States is democracy. Then the final conclusion in this kind of a dispute can only be delivered by a trial.
Does the
Boom!
Russian government...
And that's what they do not want, okay? So what Putin was basically alluding to there, saying, hey, look, you guys are a democracy, we're a constitutional republic, but you get what he's saying. He's trying to say, like, hey, you guys have, like, laws, and you have trials. You're innocent to proven guilty, right? When you settle the dispute, he said, she said, we go to court, right? That's what we do in the United States. We go to court when there's a he said, she said, right? And provide your evidence. So that's what he's asking for. So look, anybody disputing this, crying, wah, look, do you support America? Yes, you do, right? You say, or you don't. Well, you don't like America? Okay, so you support America. Great. And America is a rule of law. Okay, great. And then there should be a court trial, right? Otherwise, you're just believing somebody says something to you. Don't be a fucking dumbass. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Come on. There's nothing wrong with the trial. And especially if, hey, you love Mueller so much, right? Let him investigate with the Russians. Oh, but they don't want to find out because what's going to be uncovered is not going to be good. And this is maybe a huge trap, and they're just going to come out of the woodwork. It's great.
Have any compromising material on President Trump or his family?
When President Trump visited Moscow back then, I didn't even know that he was in Moscow. Well, please just disregard these issues and don't think about this anymore again.
It would have been out long ago.
Okay.
And
So they're talking about the PP gate, and then I want to go to Vox here. So yeah, so Vox was talking about this incredible offer, and they're just poo-pooing it. They're just saying that it's just bullshit, and they talk shit about it, which I think is pretty funny, right? So Vox is saying that we need to trust the intelligence agencies, right? Right? Special Counsel Bob Mueller, right? They charged in connection, right? Apparently the Russian president suggests his own people investigate. No, he said work with a joint investigation. So that's not even right. Okay, but my point is, it's funny here that Vox is, sucking the dick of the intel agencies, and then here we are. No, really, George W. Bush lied about WMDs back in Iraq, right? So it was the intelligence agencies that fucking lied to everybody, and the media. Remember the media, the same media that's telling you to trust the intelligence agencies this time were the same media who were behind Bush, right? The same liberal media who was behind Bush. They were telling us, oh, trust them. There's got to be the yellow cake somewhere, right? And here we go. CIA's final report. No WMDs found in Iraq. So why would you trust these people? Okay, and this is just one example. I could go on and on and on. Most of you have probably tuned out by now. Anyway, the whole point of this is that you're going to get lied. We're at a crossroads, okay? We're at a huge crossroads, and you're going to have to, really take a leap of, not faith, but a leap of judgment, and just admit that you were wrong, admit that you were duped. It's okay. It's cool. If you bought into it, I'm not mad at you. Okay? I used to listen to NPR and thought I was smart. But it's cool. If you bought into it, that's fine. You're welcome to change your mind and do your own investigation. Okay? That's totally cool. But we are at a crossroads where I'm not saying you have to believe everything Putin and Russia says. I'm not saying you have to believe everything Trump says and that everything the media says is wrong. That's just fucking stupid, okay? Again, that's that kind of stupid thinking that I'm talking about. You have to be pragmatic. You have to be practical. You have to be really deep thinking and look at, 5D chess. And you know what? You really need to know history, because once you see how things work, then you start to understand it and go, oh, okay, I see what's going on. It's just a repeat of what we've been fucking going through for the past whatever. Okay? So that's pretty big. So you're going to have to just not believe what you're hearing, because it's fucking bullshit. Okay? And secondly, this is a huge trap for the whole Mueller thing. There's nothing really there. Russia's like, hey, let's prove it. And why not prove it? Because there's no proof. Where is the server? It doesn't make any sense, okay? And actually, I found something, I think it was Vox or something. I don't know what, I couldn't find it, but it basically showed about how, Fusion GPS, you got to think about it. We're talking about Russian collusion. The whole Fusion GPS document, a lot of that came from, allegedly, from Russian intelligence, okay? And that was with the Hillary campaign. And they even talked about how, essentially, Fusion GPS and the whole intent of the dossier was, it didn't help Russia at all. It doesn't make any fucking sense, okay? You're being lied to. And if you can't see it after what I've shown you, and that's fine if you can't see it, then go ahead and investigate it a bit more. And if you still can't see it after some deep research and deep soul searching and deep thinking, I can't help you. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.